When did you say, hey, I think I could make money doing this shit? This is a learning thing for me. This is maybe the 10th or 12th podcast I've done.
Okay.
So it's a whole new learning thing for me. But today we're on live with Ian Acosta, and he is a 28-year-old entrepreneur that owns a dry cleaning business in New Braunfels, Texas, called Tip Top Cleaners at 321 West Mill Street. And for those that don't know, that's kind of smack dab in the middle of downtown. So he's in a great, concentration area of people and a great little hub for business. His wife and him are 28 and 26, and he owns this. And how long have you had it?
I bought it in December. We closed in December.
So Ian has now been a entrepreneur, self-employed business owner for about 3 months.
Yeah, that summarizes it really well.
And so Ian reached out to me on Instagram, I guess. Mm-hmm. And how did you find me?
I started, honestly, I watch a lot of YouTube. I believe YouTube is where you can find unlimited education for free on any subject as long as you know how to type it into the search bar. So yeah. I just spend a lot of my time just watching YouTube, consuming information about business in general. And one day your podcast popped up with Blake about...
Just out of the blue on YouTube.
Out of the blue, the algorithm fed it to me.
How cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that I'm doing this podcast, as I've said, that I'm going to do 52 of them because people... they want to do things right and they talk about it forever and they don't do anything. Well, I wanted to do this podcast and dedicate 52 of them just to see what would happen with the outreach of the podcast. So you found me through the podcast, and I'm starting to see these little things popping up here and there because of this podcast. So for those that are thinking about podcast or might want to do it, this is living proof today that your podcast has reach and outreach. And this is one of the things that I wanted to see. But what's neat about Ian, he's got quite a good story. So how did all of this start up and start back to when you even thought about working for yourself? Tell us a little bit about, the past 10 years of your life, because that would put you right at graduating high school. So
Right.
Take us through that.
Well, I think to really get a grasp on everything, we got to go a little further back to the true origination. My parents, both born and raised in Hawaii. As you know, Hawaii is a very expensive, economical place to live. Born and raised, and they ended up having me at 16 and 17 years old.
They were 15 and 16?
They were 16 and 17.
God bless them.
Yeah, 16 and 17.
Man, I bet that was tough too.
I can only imagine, based on the way that my upbringing was, it was a struggle. But at the end of the day, my parents provided everything for me, and they really, watching my dad work, and he's a police officer, so seeing how he continues to just pour into the community and always stay just trying to do his best, even though sometimes it may not be received as his best.
Yeah.
He just goes out every day for that.
Is he an officer in New Braunfels or Comal County or where?
He's in Blanco.
Oh, cool.
Yes, sir.
My stepdad was a cop growing up. So
okay.
We always had police officers at the house, and that's when I learned there's actually great cops.
Yes.
And wonderful folks. So I don't like it when people talk smack about cops.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Of course, there's officers that need a slap on the wrist, but that's with 3% of anybody.
Correct. Just like the general population, there's always going to be those ones that ruin it for everybody else.
And they stick out like a sore thumb.
Yes, sir.
So dad's working. Y'all, when did y'all move to Texas?
So before I was even a year and a half old, we moved to Texas. My sister was born, so by 19, my dad had my sister and me. Yeah, we moved to West Texas, Big Spring. I don't know if you've ever been out there.
Oh, yeah, I'm up in Lubbock. I got restaurants up in Lubbock, so I've been through Big Spring a lot.
Yeah. So my sister was born there. She's actually the only person in my family that was born in Texas.
Yeah.
Her name's Kaylee. She was born in Big Spring. We lived out there. talk about a hard place to live.
It is.
That was rough.
Was Dad working as law enforcement or oil business?
So my dad actually was a jailer at that point in time. He was trying to get into law enforcement, was taking courses at, what's the college over there? I can't remember.
Nobody wants to go there.
Howard College. That's what it was. We lived right down the road a little bit. And yeah, he went to courses there, was learning all that stuff. And I mean, we had people knocking on our windows late at night. I mean, we had a back alley. Like, my grandparents bought the house for us. It was a cheap little cardboard house, and that's why I say, like, all these things that we're going to talk about today, I just want to really iterate. You don't have to come from what you perceive as something to be a somebody. You just got to realize you are somebody and you have value, and that's why I want to make sure I really talk about the true origin of the beginning and not just the last 10 years, because the last 10 years look beautiful in comparison.
True.
So I just want to really give my parents the credit that's owed and just make sure that, I love them and voice.
Much respect to those guys. Anytime I meet somebody that's young, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20, that is pregnant, and usually it's very emotionally for them. And I tell them, I said, look, I know it's tough right now, but when you have that baby, that is going to be the most beautiful thing that you have ever known and loved in your life.
Yeah.
And I remember being in Ballinger, Texas, on the side of the road with this girl that I know, and she's bawling. And several times they've come back to me years later and say, Tommy, man, I can't even tell you what I was going through, but you were right. Mm-hmm. My baby is like, and that's how my kids are. They're just, you love them more than life itself. So, but talk about a lot of hard work to raise kids at that age. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, and my parents, my dad ended up getting a little bit of a college education, obviously, so he could get his police officer job. But my mom didn't go to college. They both have their GEDs, and they were able to put two of us through college. My youngest brother, he's 19, and he works for me at Tip Top too. But he's working on other things. College wasn't his deal, no problem. But yeah, my parents have put two of us through college, and it's just growing up through it. It was hard, and I didn't really understand it. But now getting to this point and owning a business and trying to think about my parents and how do I bring them into this picture and things like that. It's really brought it full circle on how much they've given up for all of us, and I can't appreciate it anymore. I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Without any of the hard work that they put in, I wouldn't be here today.
Well, it's going to give you it'll give you what I look at as a proper outlook on life. And when you have kids, you'll be hopefully making them work and earn their keep. I know I associate with some wealthy folks that have said, man, I didn't make my kids do this. I didn't make my kids do that. And they tell me, Tommy, make sure your kids are working. Make sure this. Don't spoil them. And so they've taught you a value and a work ethic. Because how long have you been working?
Since 16. I started at Bluebell Ice Cream.
Yeah.
It's been all different jobs. They haven't even really blended together. I've just tried to find the value in each one and take what I can from it and just continue to grow. Always growing, always growing, always growing. Yeah.
Well, that says a lot. And so after you guys moved to Texas, y'all were in Big Spring, which for people that don't know, it should be named Tumbleweed University in Big Spring. It is kind of the armpit of West Texas. It's just, there's nothing there. It's a tiny town. How many people? 5,000?
It's been so long, I have no idea.
You're not going back, are you?
No. The only time we go back is to see family members and things like that. We go see the farm every once in a while, so it's nice.
Yeah. And so take us forward to after high school then. What was going on and what triggered? When did you even start thinking I might work for myself or I'm tired of?
Honestly, whenever I was in high school, everybody would always talk to me about their grades and how much they matter and all these things about going to school. And for me, I was at school to meet people, to talk to people, to learn about what they're teaching us in school. But after watching my parents, I really realized that the things that they teach you in school aren't everything. It's not what determines who you are, where you're going to be or anything like that. So I was always just socializing, being involved, I've been told that I just talk too much, and I was always never on task. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's what also got me to be where I am today.
It's interesting that a lot of people that work for themselves have that personality. They were always kind of the outcast in school, or talk too much, or in trouble. And you hear it from teachers all the time, or retired teachers, that these kids, you weren't going to graduate, and you this, and then here you are. And so once you finished high school, you went to college?
Yeah, I was actually, so in my junior year, I failed a class in high school, which really tanked my class ranking. And I truly believe that this kind of, unbeknownst to me, really started to snowball everything that is today. And but by that, I mean, I wasn't able to go to college like I was planning on straight out of high school. I had to go to community college because my class ranking wasn't high enough. So I stayed around town for a year. I went to ACC, and that's when I met my good friend Kyle Parker, and I met the Parkers, Katie and Doyle, and they're the previous owners of Tip Top Cleaners.
How long had they had Tip Top Cleaners?
They bought Tip Top in 2006.
And how long has Tip Top been around?
Tip Top has been in business since 1942.
That was a long time.
Yeah, so Tip Top is a true original New Braunfels staple. It's not in the same location as it was in 1942, but yeah, we are a true New Braunfels company, tried and true. We're family owned, family operated, and we employ people from New Braunfels that understand like the needs of New Braunfels. That's the other thing that a lot of people don't really talk about. And then the other aspect of now that I own Tip Top, I truly believe that the dry cleaning industry is, ever since COVID, has kind of fallen off. There's less people like you and I that need to sit down and look nice and presentable in front of each other. So there's less and less dry cleaning going around. Also, my generation isn't as educated on how much a dry cleaner does for your wardrobe. Like, we follow the care label to the T. Like, you may drop off your stuff and say, hey, I want this dry clean. We say no problem, but we're reviewing the care label, making sure that actually goes through with what the manufacturer wants for the garment. So that way it can last longer, stay fresh, and always look tip top.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't know anything about the dry cleaning business. I used to drop off a lot of it. When I was 18, I sold cars, so I would always get my shirts dry cleaned, and I remember it was a nice bill every week.
Yeah.
But, and stuff was coming out nice, and when you do have it dry cleaned and pressed, you always kind of feel like you got a new shirt on instead of one that just came out of the wash.
And people notice when you got line, when you got those creases walking around. People notice that it's something that when you're trying to make a presence, people understand this guy really takes himself serious and he's about business.
Yeah,
so that's what those are the kinds of people that come into Tip Top every day. But on the other side, I mean, we have grandmas that have been with 3 generations of owners now. The owner before me, Katie, and then now me. And it's incredible to hear their stories. Like I have one person that I know, they told me that in high school that they got their tuxedo, and then their son got their tuxedo at Tip Top, and now I'm there doing the same thing. And like I said, it's really, really, really cool. And even though dry cleaning is kind of a dying industry, I think there's plenty of opportunity in New Braunfels.
Well, we'll get to that too, on how you are going to work on building the dry cleaning up business, improving revenue and building that up, because you've now been your own boss for 3 months and the buck stops with you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
Oh man, when I was in construction, I managed some large projects, commercial and residential, and I thought that at that point the buck stopped with me. But very quickly I realized that there's no one telling me what to do. There's no one executing things for me. I'm truly marching to the beat of my own drum and leading everyone underneath me by example. So that's what really, that's one thing for sure that took me a real big minute to really get my arms around, was that there's no one that's going to do this for you. You always talked about wanting this, you have this, so now go and do it. And and a lot of people would think in my position, oh, I've made it. But the reality is that no, this is just the beginning. So
what's funny about that statement right there is that I own 4 restaurants. I do construction, real estate stuff. And from the outside, people will say, dude, you've made it. And my response is, I'm on the floor looking up and the sky is the limit. And so, and it always kind of irks me when people are in a position where they feel like they're better than us and they're looking down on us, and they're, in $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 jobs. And then I walk in there, I feel like I have no ego, no attitude, no nothing. I talk to everybody and I'm on the ground looking up, and I feel like the sky's the limit. So you saying that is 100% true, because right now you've got your first business under your belt, and it doesn't sound like you want to stop at just one.
No, I'd like to keep going, but yeah, Tip Top's going to be our crown jewel for sure.
Yeah. Well, you've already learned a lot in 3 months, and we're going to start getting into that. But we were talking as we got in here about the process on how you purchase Tip Top. So how does a 28-year-old, basically a kid, purchase a $1 million business or whatever it is?
Yeah. It like you were saying earlier, it really just starts with looking from the ground up, and anything is possible. Like I was saying earlier, I met Kyle my first year out of college, and my second year, I had been working for Kyle's mom at Tip Top during the summer before I left to actually go to Blinn, so leaving out of state, or not out of the city. And right before I left, we were just, another one of our friends, Caden, he owns his own business here in town too. And we were both standing there about to go to college and just talking with his mom. And right before the conversation was over, I just told her, I said, if there's ever an opportunity where you want to retire or get out of Tip Top, I'd love to figure out how to purchase Tip Top. And it became kind of a punchline of a joke at that point in time. And every time I'd come home or on breaks, it was always, oh, whenever Ian's ready, I'm ready to get out of here, this, that, the other. It was like
so she would say that?
It was it was a running punchline kind of joke. And then I'd always follow up. I'd always just water the seed and just go back to it and just say, hey, yeah, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. I'll figure it out, whatever it takes. Let's get this deal done. And then our wedding, my wife and I, we've been planning a wedding, and we got all our budgets, and we're just full steam ahead. And then about 3/4 of the way through, the Parkers reached out to us and said, hey, we're interested in selling Tip Top. Is this something that you're real serious about? I said, of course. This isn't something that I can take on right now at the wedding, but once the wedding's over, I'd love to get together and we can figure out some terms, what's possible, what's not. That's what happened. Right after the wedding, we sat down, wrote down some notes, what we'd both want to see out of each other, what the deal could look like, how the deal could be structured. And once we came to those points, went to the lawyer. That's the most expensive part. So got the lawyer, got everything drafted, and signed paperwork in December.
So, I meet lots of people. I deal with business owners all over the United States. Monthly, I talk to people from everywhere. And one of the things that's unique about you already at 28 is most of these business owners have never been involved in a transaction to buy or sell a business. So only a small percent have done that. And so it's really neat now that you have that weapon in your arsenal, because there's going to be other times upon this journey that you're going through where these successful guys or girls are coming in to drop off their suit. You're going to talk to them. You're going to know what their, business is. And now you know how to structure a deal. And this deal might or might not work perfect for you, how you structured this. So you'll tweak the next one to adjust it on how you want it moving forward.
Correct.
And so the information that you learned just on this transaction is more valuable than anything you would have learned at Blinn.
I couldn't agree more.
So congratulations to you on that. That's a big deal. Not a lot of people get to see it. I'm fortunate. I've bought and sold 5 or 6 businesses. I've looked at several businesses and know what to look for on going in, and now you've seen it firsthand. So you have just had a leg up on anybody else in your business or looking for a business, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. whenever I sat down and started entertaining the opportunity to purchase Tip Top, I had no idea what I was looking at. I went to their accountant and I was looking at the books and I was like, I understand P&Ls and I understand budgets, but what is all of this? Like the line, there was like 150 line items, and it was a lot to digest, and I just attribute the Parkers really helped me through all that and understanding the numbers.
And what were you thinking while you were an employee at Tip Top? Were you like, well, money comes in, money comes out, they're probably just making a fortune?
Well, when I worked at Tip Top, Kyle was still in high school. He always had a really nice truck, so I figured something must have been going on. Doyle, his dad worked at a different company, so obviously I wasn't sure how it all worked, but I figured it was a good business. It had been in business since 1942, so if it was working, I knew that I could figure out a way to make it even better. But back then, I mean, I was just pulling bags over the clothes, just trying to get through the day, not even really thinking about it, just thinking about what am I going to do? Like, I never even really thought too much about purchasing Tip Top while I was in the back. It was only just a little, like a couple years later, once I really realized what Tip Top was. I always tell people I need a machine, and by that I mean I need a business, because once you've got a machine, you can tweak it, make it more efficient, make it less efficient. You can do all of these things and tinker with it, but once you get it set up, it's rocking and it's just spitting itself out. So yeah, I always knew I needed to get a machine that I could finagle with and mess with and tinker on. And now that I've got one, I'm just all the way into it, really driving efficiency, trying to figure out where we can pick things up, what's going on. And it's a lot.
It's a whole lot. And I call that phase that you're talking about that we have it running like a sewing machine.
Yeah.
And so we have seasonal businesses with the restaurants down in Port Aransas, and they'll be running like a sewing machine in the summer and then they slow down. But that's what we've been doing for the past few weeks, is getting those prepped up to run like a sewing machine. And it's interesting how many different angles that you have to work on. As the owner, do you ever feel like the work's ever done?
I find myself going home and thinking to myself, why am I going home? Like, there's so many things that I could be working on. But I just keep telling myself, like, you've done a lot. Like, you've done what you can for the day. It just is what it is. Come back tomorrow and be 100% tomorrow. Because if you burn yourself out, then you don't have the runway to continue to go and build the next one after Tip Top. You look back at Tip Top, or I would look back at Tip Top and think, man, that was such a struggle. How am I ever going to do this again? So I'm not hustling, because obviously I for sure am, but I'm conscious of not burning out and making sure that every day I'm giving 100%, because that's what I ask of my employees and everyone around me.
Are you looking for the best bites and coldest drinks in Port Aransas? Come grab a beer and a burger with us at Beer House, where the patio's always popping and the drinks are always top shelf. We're known for our signature prickly pear margarita, which is a hit, and our burgers are some of the best in Texas. We'd love to see you there. One thing that you've done that you skipped a step over is starting a business from scratch. And one thing I'm leery of is I never want to start another business from scratch because I've done it several times and it takes a whole lot to get that ball rolling. But once that ball's rolling, it doesn't take as much to keep it rolling through that the field. So you skipped a good step, which is a wonderful step for you to have skipped, and you got into a business that has been established, and there's no easy, like some people would think, well, that's the easy way. You didn't do it the easy way. You did it the smart way.
Yes.
And so kudos to you on that too. And
well, and also just because it's established doesn't mean that what is established is who I am and who I want the company to be. So we had 4 ladies that had worked at Tip Top for over 20 plus years. And all those people that I'm telling you that have been with the owner before, this owner, and then now me, they got to see a completely different product.
They all have their quirks, don't they?
Exactly.
And they don't exactly want to do what Ian says, because that is not how we've done it for 20 years.
The number one line I hear is, I know you guys just bought this place, but like all my information and I'm like, hey, yes, we did just buy this place. But mistakes happen. I mean, we're dealing with 120,000 pieces a year alone, just at my Tip Top store. That doesn't even include our second store. And I mean, mistakes are going to happen, but at Tip Top, we're always going to own them. All these big chain conglomerate dry cleaners don't own them. I have the plant right here in New Braunfels. I employ people in New Braunfels. And if there's a problem and you come talk to me about it, it's going to get addressed. We're going to store credit. We're going to make sure that when you bring clothes to us and you have an expectation, if we don't meet that expectation, we're going to make it right. Whereas a lot of these cleaners that we see, we get their stuff and it's like, John over here messed up my stuff and he wasn't willing to take care of it and this, that, or the other. And we'll take care of it, no problem. But we just ask that customers remember, like, that's what you're dealing with outside of us. Yes, we make mistakes, but we're going to own those mistakes and stand behind Tip Top, the brand.
That's great, and I would keep that up, and I think you would be successful. Take me back. Let's go back to employees since you took over. What kind of situations have you got into that the employees not necessarily on board with what you're trying to implement, and how did you remedy that situation with the employee?
So I have 20 employees. I was able to retain the majority of the staff whenever I bought the place, which is an incredible help, and we appreciate each and every single employee. The one thing for sure is a language barrier. A lot of the people that work in our industry speak fluent Spanish. While I'm not fluent in Spanish, I have a plant manager that is. So me and him communicate, and I articulate to him what my vision is, what the plan is, where I think the boat is going. And I just articulate to him that I understand the boat that you've been on for the past 20 years may be a little tattered. It may be a little old. It needs maintenance. It needs a lot of things. You need maintenance. I just need you to give me some time to get my arms around this thing so I can do that for you guys. And by the way that I'm showing that I'm willing to do that is by buying the small novelty equipment and things that they need on a day-to-day basis that they haven't had for the past however long. Yeah, I can't just come in and raise everybody's salary up and bump them up like crazy because I don't even understand. I'm still trying to get a handle on it.
You're still looking for your salary.
Yeah, no, I got it figured out, but it's a lot. It's fun, but it's a lot. I tell my wife all the time, like, I go through the day and everything gets thrown at me and I just hold all of it. And then only at the end of the day do I kind of have a second to set everything down and really admire all the things I collected through the day and really process the information. So I don't always have the right answer in the moment, but what I tell all my employees is if you give me just a little bit of time, I'll have an answer for you that works for the both of us. And if it doesn't, let's communicate. Let's find a middle ground. I've been in situations in work environments where I have a great idea. It makes a lot of sense, but no one's even willing to venture down the possibility of it. And yeah, some of the ideas that I get brought aren't that great, but
I tell people that we're not trying to butt heads. We're trying to untie a knot so it can go smooth. So you've got an idea, I've got an idea, and we need to make it go smoother for everybody. But you do, as an employer, I have 215 employees or so right now, and I've had employees since I was 18 or 19 years old. And so a lot of them do have a lot of interesting ideas that need to just get thrown out. In the trash box. But you got to deal with those with caring, kindness, and then over time you become kind of hardened to these things. I lead a lot different now at my age than I did at 28, and I'm definitely a lot more caring, definitely a lot more compassionate, but I also don't let a lot of BS go. So we try to nip it right in the butt. And when they have these ideas, and sometimes the employee will have an idea and they just keep coming at you. And you know what? It might be time for you to leave now because we're not seeing eye to eye on this. We're not going to budge. And if you're not happy here, I don't want you here.
Right. You don't want that you want to make sure that your culture is all symbiotic, working together. And if you have one bad bud, like you're saying, it could really fester across all of them. And that's just not a fun recipe for anyone.
We have kind of a rule at our restaurants that if we have a new employee come in and they don't gel with the entire crew, that they've got to just come tell, a few times on this employee, and then we get rid of them, because that one guy or girl can cause such a cancer for the entire organization, and it can just go on and on and on. So if you have that going on, you need to nip it in the bud right away.
No, I can definitely say that I've been successful in bringing the manager over. This manager, my plant manager, has been working with the previous owner for 14 years before I got there. So, well, like we were talking about earlier, a preconceived notion of what they're doing, what their culture is, what their job is, and then I show up younger. I used to work for him, so it's a completely different dynamic. But the way that I've led him and got him to be on my side is like, I'm not replacing you. If you want to be replaced, that's in the cards too, but I don't want to replace you. So if you're willing to give me some time to piece this boat back together, I promise. Whenever the boat gets sailing, there's a spot for you, and it's a lot more luxurious than this tattered boat has been. And yeah, I've been trying to buy small like equipment pieces that everybody in the plant can see. Wow, I'm using this. This person is investing in me in a way that's different. I have a lady, she does nails, and I can't pay her hourly a whole lot more because of the way that the business structure is, but my wife gets her nails done. So why can't my wife just talk to her and get her nails done from her? And we pour into her cup in different ways that would be expenses spent somewhere else. And we're just trying to find ways to pour into our employees in other ways for right now. And then once I get the business where we want to go, there will be room for everybody. It's just painting that vision and getting them to trust me. That's the difficult part.
What's been what are some of the issues and problems that you have had come up in the past 3 months that you just never saw coming, and a couple of the things that you've learned? Because everything that we see, you scroll on the worldwide interweb is what I call it. You see it's all glitz and glamour. Did you pull up in a Ferrari, by the way? I didn't see, but you're an entrepreneur. They all have Ferraris on Instagram.
Yeah.
But so
I actually rolled up in a Ford Transit van.
Perfect. Asking for my clothes to take them so you can make some money.
Exactly,
That's good.
exactly.
But what are some of the stumbling blocks? Give me a few of them that you didn't understand. Now you're dealing with it, and it was just not that it came out of left field. It came out of left field for you, but it's a normal thing in day-to-day operations.
Yeah. So one thing for sure is the way that a dry cleaner operates and is able to put all the steam out is what's called a boiler. My dry cleaners has 2 of them, and simply I have a 30 horsepower and a 20 horsepower for a total of 50 horsepower. Well, in the midst of discussing the deal about Tip Top, the previous owners just felt like it'd be best if I didn't interact with the employees and ask too many questions, because they didn't want it to get out that we were exploring this possibility.
That's normal.
So that is, yeah, I felt the same way. I felt like it would be pretty normal. So I couldn't do a whole lot of digging based on where I left the last time I was working there and where it was at presently. So I knew that there was probably some hidden things, but again, that's a risk that I had to take because of the way that I got the funding, the way that the deal was structured. These are all calculated risks that you got to roll the dice on. If the deal is structured the way that you want it to, you just take the risk the way it is. You understand quantify it, understand it, and move on. And one of those risks was the boiler. So I have about 39 horsepower worth of equipment that I'm operating on a 30 horsepower boiler.
Ooh.
So I didn't know that was transpiring. And now that I've learned that, it's created little ripple effects about my labor, how long it takes, and things like that I did not understand before.
And so how easy is it to get somebody to come work on your dry cleaning boiler?
So it's pretty easy if you got a nice blank check.
And what does that run an hour for those guys?
Like $120, $150 an hour. And that's just the start of it. This boiler is, so I have 2, and one of them is running, but it's basically, imagine you have a Ferrari and it's at 10,000 RPM all day long because it's just pushing to keep up. So, the other one is completely blown up. Didn't know that. I was under the impression I'd be able to ramp up production by 20%. I had enough infrastructure at Tip Top to do that. And now that I've gotten in there and really started to ramp things up, we've already hit the ceiling, and we're not even at 20. So these are all things that I go back and I work with my partner, the Parkers. They are my partner in this whole endeavor, and it's in their best interest I succeed. It's in my best interest to succeed. So they really yeah, they're helping me out. They're giving me the right kind of mentorship and telling me who to go talk to. Now it's gotten to a point where I'm on Facebook Marketplace shopping for boilers, just trying to get a better understanding.
What does a boiler cost?
So for the one that I'm looking at, it's about 50,000 brand new. And that's just the boiler. That's not installation. That's not delivery. That's not the paperwork with the state to get the permitting. All kinds of stuff.
That is a lot of dry cleaning.
Oh, and our average ticket is about $20 a ticket. So you do 50,000 divided by 20, and you can imagine how many orders it takes to make up that difference.
Do y'all have, when somebody drops off the clothes, do you have somebody there trying suggestive selling on anything? When they come in and they say, hey, I want this, is there anybody that would say, would you want this, this, and this also? Or is it they just drop their clothes and you take what they give you?
No, yeah, they come in, drop their clothes off. Since I started, I've been trying to, like you were saying earlier, coming into contact with business owners and things like that. I'm trying to take Tip Top into the linen business. So as more business owners, restaurant owners come in, I tell them, hey, we're getting into linens. I want this place to be a UniFirst, an Alsco. I'm gonna be a hometown delivered person for that.
The restaurants, one of the things that I killed when I bought Seafood and Spaghetti Works, it's kind of the same thing as you. It's a 50-year-old business down in Port Aransas. They had linen service that they were paying $4,200 a month for.
Yeah.
And I just had Brian Strange on here that owns Don Strange Catering, and they have their own linens. And so he was telling me how they buy, whatever it is, a napkin for $3, and they rent it out, and it is paid for already. So if you get into the linen service,
I hate to tell you, it's not $3.
Well, whatever
it's more
it
like
was.
60 cents.
Oh, well, that's even better. So whatever it was.
Yeah.
But the restaurants, I mean, that's what's badass about a 28-year-old entrepreneur wanting to grow this business by 20%. They call that a strategic pivot. And if you pivot into the restaurant stuff and you get a big enough boiler, dude, 10 restaurant accounts is $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month.
Easily.
And it's repetitive income every single month.
It's better than a Netflix subscription, I can promise.
It is. It is. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and the whole reason that that concept came to my mind was because I'm reaching the ceiling on my boiler. So if I pivot into linens, I don't need steam in order to do all of that. I need natural gas. So then I can buy equipment and buy machines that aren't going to tax my boiler that I'm already hitting the ceiling on while I'm working on finding a solution for that. That way I can start going ahead and drumming up more business, finding other ways. I have a restaurant that she's already working with me on 480 pounds worth of napkins a week.
Dude, you could easily, Alsco and UniFirst charge a fortune.
Yes.
And their service sucks.
Yes.
Man, I hope this doesn't go out too far, but whatever, if it does, I had UniFirst when we were doing landscaping, all of their shirts and stuff, missing buttons, stains, this, that. If you turn a shirt 2 or 3 times or a linen for a restaurant gets a stain, toss it out, throw in a new napkin, keep these guys happy. These companies are so big that they can't keep you happy. And the driver turns over all the time. They don't know you.
Right.
Dude, I mean, you could pull restaurants in a second.
Yeah. The hard part is getting people to believe in the fact that I have the capacity. Because some of these places are doing like 1,000 pounds of linens a week. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot of napkins.
Do they charge by the pound?
No, so most Alsco and UniFirst charge they charge per linen. So each napkin is like 11 cents. I have to go in and I had to build an Excel calculator based on my suppliers, how much the shipping weight is, and then create an Excel calculator to backtrack the poundage. So now I can show the restaurant owner, hey, you have linen napkins at this price per pound, but then they're charging you a service fee on top of the linen charge that is actually a higher denomination than your linen cost. So make it easy. If you're doing 100 linens every single week, they're charging you for 103 linens every single week, and they're not even replacing the 3 linens. They're pocketing the service charge. And then on top of that, you go all the way to the bottom. So you have your table linens, you have your table linens, your table linen service, then your napkins, then your napkin service, and then at the very, very bottom, you have a service charge on top of that, which is usually another 3 to 5% of the total. So they're already juicing you for 3 on maintenance, and then they're juicing you for another 3. So that's 6. And that's where I can get in my margin because they have to drive from San Antonio. They're paying the driver, they're paying the truck, they're paying all of these things when most of these restaurants that I'm targeting right now are within a 1-mile radius of me.
And then the other thing that all the restaurants have, if they don't have, linens on the table, they all got rags.
Bar mops. Yep.
And what do those things cost?
Pennies. Yeah. And I'm trying to, again, I don't know everything, but I am working with restaurants, and my thought is, why don't I just become, instead of renting them, why don't I just become a linen bank where I sell you the linens at cost, but then I go ahead and do all these services for you. And then if you ever want to part ways with me, I just need to cash you out 6,000 linens.
Yeah.
Just a bank. Because everyone asks me, well, if I purchase them, are you going to keep mine separate from so-and-so? And I would like to tell them yes, but the reality is no.
Yeah.
Because it'd be so hard to keep. If you have 3,000 linens a week, I actually need to keep an inventory of 6. Because when your 3 come in, I need to be able to give you 3 back.
Yeah.
So keeping up with 6,000 here, 6,000 there, 10,000. Once these accounts get bigger, it just becomes insurmountable. So that's why I'm thinking, in my mind, the way I think about it is a bank. When you put your $100 at Wells Fargo and I put my $100 at Wells Fargo, I can go in and get my 100. It may be your $100 bill. You can get mine. And so that's the way I'm thinking about the linen. So that way I can change things up a little bit.
I love it because I was wondering, how's this kid going to get, boost stuff up 20%. And
that's just one idea.
Dude, that is, and I have secret tactics that I share with everybody to get these businesses. And if you focus on a restaurant it might take a week, it might take a month, it might take 12 months, and you drop off donuts and cupcakes and coffee, you will get their attention and you will be doing everybody's linens. And it's that simple, and people do not believe it. And I've told this story on here several times of how I dropped off cupcakes and pizzas at places in New Braunfels that ended up paying my mortgage for 15 years. And so I would love to see you succeed and be doing, linens and rags and all that stuff that just hasn't even been thought of in 40 or 50 years at Tip Top.
Yeah, no. And then on top of that, I don't know if you've ever seen on TikTok or Instagram, there's a girl, her name is Laundromat Girl online. She's really, really good. I mean, viral, puts up really good content. New Year's Day, right after we closed on Tip Top, New Year's Day, we were on a phone call with Laundromat Girl.
Oh, yeah?
Talking about linens. She runs linens out of her laundromat.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, though, she also told us about wash and fold. So wash and fold is something that my generation can get into. My generation already pays for DoorDash and you to come mow the grass and all of these services at their home. So why not just pay me to come to your home, pick up your laundry, wash, fold, deliver it back to you, just put it right in the drawer. Most family households spend 3 hours a week on laundry.
Yeah.
For someone in a household that has 4 kids, both parents are working 40 hours a week, like those three hours are really, really valuable to your family.
Laundry sucks too. I do mine like every 2 days. So and I'm in different cities every other day. Yeah. So I never leave dirty clothes at any house, and I usually do them every 2 days. So I just can't, a pile of laundry with 4 kids and no thanks.
Yeah, so we're really rolling out. We already do pick up and drop off delivery services already. So why not expand? And I'm launching a website to where people can just log on, book with us, tell us, hey, I have a pickup for this week, for today, and we'll come to your door, pick it up, wash it, fold it, deliver it back. You have nothing to worry about.
I love it.
And I worked for D.R. Horton before this, so I have a good understanding of the subdivision market and how they structure these things. And if you can play the right game, you get in with the sales agents. The sales agents tell everybody as they're selling the home, hey, this community is also tip-top enabled to where you can get laundry services straight to your door, things like that. And then people that maybe wouldn't have even considered that service before are like, oh, wow, that is a good idea. Maybe let me check them out.
What are you doing on marketing stuff since you've been there for 3 months? Marketing costs money.
Yes.
So
yeah. Well,
what are you doing?
So much. We have been working with a lot of nonprofits in the area, sponsoring like linen. We need practice on linen, so we've been volunteering our services for people like Connections. They just had their disco ball this last week.
Mm-hmm.
We did all of their linens for free, just taking care of them, trying to allowing, like, putting our name out there that we know how to do these things,
Mm-hmm.
number one. And number two, just getting the practice that we need. Even though, yeah, we're not getting paid for it. I'm bearing the cost aspect of it. But at the end of the day, it's giving back to our community in a way that no one else really can service.
Mm-hmm.
And so just trying to give back that way. We also sponsored a local influencer. Her name is Shelby Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And we are doing all of her wash and fold for free. We just told her, post us on your story. Let us know your honest opinion and thoughts on the service. Let us know how we can improve. And if there's anything that comes to mind, just let us know. So she's just posting it out to her, the moms of New Braunfels, just trying to slowly get it out there that we're here, we're new, and we're wanting to service a new industry.
Is your wife working with you day to day also?
No. So my wife is actually a nurse here in Seguin at GRMC.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So she grew up here in Seguin. She's born and raised here. Her family's all from here. And yeah, she's a nurse. She became a nurse right in the middle of COVID.
What a great time.
Yeah. She was an ER nurse in downtown San Antonio, middle of COVID. And honestly kind of stunted her aspirations
I
in
think
nursing.
a lot of that happened to a lot of nurses, which stinks. And then a lot of them went into lip fillers,
Aesthetics.
Botox, all
Correct.
that other
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
because of
IVs.
which sucks because we need good nurses.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And what sucks about the nursing industry is that the healthcare industry isn't there to support them. The healthcare industry is just there for make us money bags. That's really, they just want to turn us into money bags. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's hard because watching her like work really hard, caring for people, investing emotionally, pouring into everyone. But then on the backside of it, it's like these corporations don't realize that these nurses go home and think about their patients and the ones that didn't make it. And you're put in situations as a nurse where you're not given the resources, but your license is on the line if something happens. And I feel like that's really not talked about too much, and something that I'm not saying that happens to my wife at GRMC, but I'm saying that in other environments that definitely does happen to a lot of nurses. And yeah, she's encountered that at her previous job.
I know it was rough on them, and it's interesting, but man, when you're in the hospital or you need a nurse, man, they are lifesavers. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. And they do it with caring. They do it with compassion. They don't care what color you are. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care where you're from. They take care of you. Working with the spouse is another challenge. I'm sure she's kind of your psychologist right now for work, though, anyway.
Yeah, I tell her I feel bad because, like I said, I can't really digest everything until I get home. So whenever I'm at home, it's just nonstop. My brother lives with us also. So him working with me all day and then us being at home together, like, that's hard too. So that's another dynamic, like, about a family-owned business I didn't even really wrap my head around. Was that if that's really what I want to do, there's some dynamics that come along with that kind of thing.
I'm well aware.
So that's been one thing for sure that I didn't anticipate that I've been dealing with and trying to juggle. But it's working with my wife. I'm sure will be a blast in many different ways.
She's going to only want a 3-day work week, though, or you're going to have to pay her overtime.
I'm hoping that she can just do our marketing. If she can just handle the marketing, we're trying to build a brand. If she can just really cultivate that brand, that's really all I ask for out of her.
I think it's cool that you're reaching out to the influencers because they do have influence on people, and I don't consider myself an influencer at all. This podcast is a science experiment to see where this will all grow. But one of the things that Ian and I have in common that he hit right off the head, right when he walked in the door and we started talking, is that how he got to purchase the Tip Top cleaners. And my way of searching for new businesses is I'm only interested in a business that's been here for 10, 20, 30 years. The owner is ready to retire and they're going to carry a note for me. And a lot of people would say, dude, that's absolutely fucking impossible. And the dude across the table from me is proof that it's not. And I'm proof that it's not at all, because it's happened to me several times. in his first business venture, it happened. And so the way that a girl that Ian likes is Cody Sanchez, and the way that she's an influencer and the way that she explains it is kind of neat. It's that this business has been working for these people or these families for 20 or 30 years. Why not let us come in, keep these payments going to you, and let it keep working until you're out? And it's a great analogy on how to do things. And as an entrepreneur, self-employed person, we're always willing to take a gamble. Working for yourself is a gamble. Mm-hmm. So if you found somebody that is, outgoing, ready to work, and can let the business that you built provide for you for more years to come, when I'm in the position that I want to sell, if I find a hustler or somebody that's interested, I would absolutely entertain it. If I have to take it back, well, I have to take it back, but I'm going to bet that it's set up well enough and that I'm going to do digging enough on the prospect that I'm not going to have to take it back. So I really respect that and I like it. And that's how I'm hunting. That is one of the things, that is one of the 3 to 5 reasons that I have this podcast, is because I am looking for that exact deal.
Yeah. And they're plentiful out there. And
yeah.
To add on to that, I really think, to add on to that, I think that more things get presented to you whenever you voice that you're interested in those things. Mm-hmm. If no one would know I like golf if I didn't talk about golf. If I didn't post about golf, no one would know that I like golf. No one would know that I was ever interested in owning a business if I didn't voice my opinion that I would love to own a business. So I was telling Tommy about this outside, but I truly believe that when you say these things out loud, that you are putting out into the universe the opportunity for it to come to you. Mm-hmm. And I believe this is what I had messaged you on Instagram whenever I first reached out. I think that our generation, as much as this cliche as it is, has been stunted by the instant gratification of social media in a completely different manner, in the sense of they don't want to go out and talk about what they believe or what they hope happens or what they want to happen, because if it doesn't happen, they look like a fool. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I look like a fool for a really long time to a lot of people. And now I'm not such a fool. Now, wow, it turns out Ian actually understood some things. It turns out Ian had perspective that really I didn't have. And I'm not saying that because I'm some special person. I'm saying that because I truly believe that when you share value, when you voice the value out, that it gives the opportunity for the value to come back to you in other ways, from other people, from the universe itself. I just truly believe that if you live an abundant lifestyle and you believe that there's abundance out there, not that scarcity mindset, that everything finds its way to you. It may not happen on your timeline.
It won't happen on your time, but you're 110% correct that, if you didn't tell people I like golf, then they would never know. And it is wild when I've had the same thing where I tell people, hey, I'm looking at 20 acres over here and we're going to put 10 houses on it. And people are like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. That's probably the same reaction you got when you told a few people, oh, I'm going to go buy a cleaner. They're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, my last job, they all kind of, I was in mortgage before, and I truly believe that we're on the precipice of another economic recession, the equivalent of 2008. Like, something really serious is happening. And this isn't just my opinion. This is verifiable, factual data that I can pull up on a chart and show you that every single time we have an inversion of the yield curve, or we have every time that we have rates the way that they are.
How about they're dropping right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, my business partner was texting me before. I was in Port Aransas just a while ago, and I'm getting in the plane, and he's texting me. He's like, dude, I do not like they're dropping these rates. And he pays attention to that daily.
When have you ever heard them dropping rates and it was a good thing?
Yeah.
You think about 2008, rates crashed to the floor. No one could buy anything, though, because the banks weren't liquid enough and too scared to loan out that money. If you understand that something like that is coming and you are pulling together... It's funny. I say this on one side of the coin. I'm heavily invested in crypto, which is the riskiest of assets that you can possibly be in. But in my headspace, I truly believe that the one I'm invested in, not financial advice, the one I'm invested in is going to be the plumbing of the financial system in the future. And yeah, I sound crazy saying that right now, but understand that the U.S. government cannot keep this charade going forever.
No.
So there's gonna be something, and if we're gonna go to the Elon robots, where we have them shopping for us, we have them driving places, we have them doing things for us, how in the world are we gonna do that when we can't even settle transactions instantaneously?
Yeah.
If I wanted to wire you money, I'd have to give it to some phone line, and I'd have no idea where it is once I send it from here to there until you received it. That is where the antiquated system is really having issues, and where it's going to get an update. And I believe that our generation is going to get to live through the financial internet, whereas your generation got to profit and live through the actual internet itself.
It's tough times and interesting times right now for sure. Just, but if you look back over the past 100 years, everybody goes through these times, and it's
a cyclical environment. That's it.
It is, and stuff just gets faster and faster. And
but when you say that, people cannot believe that as humans that we all behave in the same patterns over and over again. That's why they say history never repeats; it always rhymes. It's because us as human beings.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love talking about this stuff. I could go round and round, but
got time.
When you look at charts, you can really see that human behavior is rhyming right around us every single day. And I believe that it's because of the decisions and band-aids we made in 2008 that we are just now finally understanding and starting to rip the band-aid off of.
Well, in 2008, I had a girl, Kendra Ray, on here that was a real estate agent, and I was mowing grass, so I was 28. And I think you're probably smarter than I was when I was 28. But we were mowing grass, and the recession hit, and I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because I was so busy hustling for work, I wasn't paying attention to the outside news stuff, and so that's kind of the way that I deal with stuff is I just put my nose down and grind. And so Daniel, my partner, was texting me earlier, and, they dropped rates. So blah, I said, Daniel, dude, I'm doing everything I can right now to push as much marketing as I can for our restaurants. We're doing the podcast. We're doing everything we can to get people in, bring in revenue. We're saving as much money as we can. And that's all you can do is prep yourself, as best you can, given the information that you have. So I hope we don't, and I'm not going to get political on anything. I do feel like we're in a better spot with the president than we would have been with a Kamala. I just don't think there was nothing happening with the last there's nothing going on.
I can 100% agree with you on that, and I think that we're in a better situation. However,
still scary.
He's not a number, like, he's good. He's a businessman, but he's not some financial guru that just makes it all go away.
But my business coach says it doesn't matter who's in office.
Correct, I agree.
For your economy. And I can assure you that restaurants, they come and they go. Their revenue goes up and goes down. If you are doing their linens and you end up getting 10 or 20 or 30 restaurants and you do take a hit on your dry cleaning, you're still going to be doing more revenue and making more money.
Oh, I could not agree more. But the reason why I feel like it's so valuable to know these things is because you can exploit those opportunities. And when I say that, I bought my house my first house in 2020, right in December of 2020, right in the smack dab of COVID. Prices were down, interest rates were down. Nobody had money. Everyone's telling you the world's ending. This is an awful idea. This is awful. Watching YouTube is what really made me realize the opportunity I had in front of myself, and I found a house. So I bought a house for $180,000 in New Braunfels,
which does not it. I mean, it's 2025 now. That is not happening.
You want to guess my interest rate?
Probably in the twos.
2.875.
Yeah.
And so that is what really opened my eyes to, if you pay attention to what's going on in the world, yes, I agree with you. If you're a grinder, you'll always be okay. Yeah. If you're willing to put your nose to the stone and just work through the storm, obviously the storm will always blow over. But I like to leverage those opportunities and grab a little. I didn't come from money like I was telling you earlier. So I have to find ways to exploit opportunities to gain leverage, so that way I can jump levels a lot faster than if I stayed doing the same things that I was doing.
They call that the quantum leap. And so a lot of times people think that you have to just take your own situation, for instance. They would have told you, and you were doing it, finish high school, go to college, get a job. Well, after that, get a job, you took a quantum leap. You skipped all the other steps and became a business owner of an established business. So in your career, don't ever think that you have to just keep climbing the ladder. Skip some steps, and those are going to come through contacts.
Right.
Probably people that walk in that door that are wearing nice suits, own businesses, this, that. Skip the steps. There's a good book by Price Pritchett called U Squared that talks about quantum leaps. And, if you just, opportunities are everywhere. I tell people that I didn't come from a wealthy family at all. My mom was on welfare. I got $10 a week to live off of from middle school till high school. So I didn't even have money for lunch half the time. So I'm always panning for gold, looking for little nuggets of opportunities. And those are going to come through people that you talk to. And the way that you are, I mean, you're going to find stuff, and God knows where you'll end up. It'll be awesome to check in 10 years and see.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited that I was able to get on the podcast in this point in time, because I really feel I've watched a lot of influencers that have had an arc, and I haven't had the gall enough to jump off the cliff and start my own, but I feel like this is a really good way to document the beginning of mine. So I went live this morning on Instagram.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just spur of the moment kind of thing.
Good.
Just talking about it. And yeah, I want to do more of that and continue to try and grow and share the value that I interact with every day and take for granted.
Well, I'm on the bottom of the arc of podcasting too. So one of the guests said, well, what's the kind of the highlight pinnacle of your career? And she goes, coming on your podcast. I said, well, I'm sorry, but that's not very, the things you have done are much better than coming on here. This just took a little bit of money and effort. But that's one of the things that I like to tell entrepreneurs too is, stick, stay, and make it pay. Is I'm using this podcast as an example to people like you, where I've told you that we're doing 52 of these. So we started this idea in January, just an idea, like you buying a Tip Top Cleaners. We took that idea. I had to buy the camera equipment. This is going back to, what did you learn your first 3 months? Well, I didn't know how to use a computer.
Right,
I'm not joking. I just do bids for landscaping, but I haven't touched them in years.
Yeah, you got a whole switchboard over here. No one can see. Oh, yeah, you can see it.
We got everything over here. But, and so this is one of those things that I believe, just like you're going to work every day and you're putting in the time, you're coming up with new ideas for marketing. You're going to start touching base with all of these people. I call that a hit list. So I've got a hit list of people that I want on my podcast. To me, it's a game because I have made money on the podcast before I even started, which is insane. And I had another meeting today in Port A where we're going to start trying to monetize that, because they say where there's no offer, there's no monetization. So we're going to do that. And this is my journey kind of going along with you. But back to the hit list thing, I've been one of my favorite things is sales. And so I have a hit list of all these people. And some of these are people that you would never think are going to come on here. I send them FedEx packages. I DM them. I send them Facebook messages. And it is a game. And when we get one of them on here, because sure as we sit here, one will be here. If not several, because I've already had famous country singers that I thought would not come on here.
Awesome.
They're ready to come on here.
Yeah.
And but talk about their business journey. But that's the kind of stuff that I like. And so I'm ready to watch you go into these restaurants or whoever needs this stuff. Maybe medical stuff, because you could charge them more. Hotels. But it's funny because we are, in some aspects of our business, on the same alignment. So it's going to be fun
I
to
agree.
watch.
And right now, like, there's more things to come. We're building a brand right now. My wife and I just coming up. We just recently got all of our logos and all of our different kind of branding, and we're making T-shirts. We're exploring the merch side of things, and yeah, it's so much fun, but it's also so much risk. So
Payroll's due on Friday.
yeah, it's every Friday.
Payroll's
20 checks every Friday.
Do y'all do payroll weekly or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
Yeah, we do it bi-weekly.
And I don't have a service that does it for me. It's me at every week signing 20 checks. I'm just really getting to know the numbers.
Well, we're not here for business consultation, but I would immediately tell you to hand that off to someone else.
100%.
It's a lot to look at. It takes a lot of time. Those numbers aren't going to change.
Well, and a lot of the efficiencies that I'm picking up in my business is because, like we were saying, the old owners were antiquated. They didn't.
Did they write everything by hand?
Yes, dude. Yeah. One of my store, we do like 50,000 pieces a year out of this store. Every single ticket handwritten.
Oof.
Every single ticket. So yeah, that's a whole nother dynamic that I'm taking on as well, that taking them digital and then figuring out how to marry what I'm doing over there to our already operating POS system, how all that works and drives together, how to make it work and jive together.
It's so much shit, isn't it?
Oh, it's so like these things are just the surface.
Does not stop.
Yeah.
It does not stop.
It'll stop real quick if you just don't care.
That's not a good idea.
No, I don't recommend
it. The 20 people in the Parkers are not going to be happy with you if it stops.
No, I don't plan on stopping. But if someone does, let me know because I'll pick up their place, no problem.
I love it.
Yeah.
Where was I going? I don't know where I was going. I got lost on my thought.
It's all good.
I love it. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I would love to see. There's nobody's making. It's not just business, it's show business, right? Whatever you're doing, whether it's a cleaners or a dentist office, it's not just business, it's show business. It could be just a business, but I would love to see you all over New Braunfels, TikTok, all over the place explaining what you're doing with the shirts, making videos of Miss Jones dropping it off, deliveries dropping stuff off.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I would love to see all that stuff. It would be wonderful.
That's the goal, honestly, is to build a brand. Gary Vee, I really feel like, talks about it perfectly. Your brand is the most valuable thing that you can possibly have. So if you're not building or crafting your brand, then what are you doing? Because even if you go to apply at a job, let's say you're not an entrepreneur, you're just going to apply at a job. Whenever you're in that interview, you as a brand, they're hiring you as that brand.
Yeah.
How you carry yourself, how you present yourself, what all that package looks like. That's a brand.
Yeah.
And brand recognition is everything. When someone talks about Ian Acosta, I want them to recognize who I am, what I am, how much I'm willing to pour into everything.
I'm super excited to be able to watch your journey, and I hope the people watching and New Braunfels is ready to watch, because I talk to a lot of people. I have bars in Lubbock, so I deal with college kids all day. It's on the busiest street in Lubbock. Yeah. The bars are insane. So I meet people. I've been there for 7 years. So I meet these guys, and, a lot of them they're talking. And you're not talking, you're walking. Yeah. And my favorite thing is that's why we're here, entrepreneurship and owning your own business. And I can see it in you and listening to you talk. I don't have any doubt that you're going to figure it out.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I want to say out loud, I'm nothing special. All I am is just someone that's willing to put my neck out there and say out loud what I want, where I want to be. And if I'm not there, it's because I'm working to get there. It's not because I failed and I haven't gotten there.
And if you can't figure it out, you're going to find somebody that will figure it out.
Exactly. That's honestly, watching your podcast really with Blake really enlightened me on his partnership and like what a real partnership looks like and how much a real partnership can really grow something. And so that's why I reached out to you, because I want to meet and talk to people that have walked this path. And just because I'm putting the stones in front of myself doesn't mean I can't pick them up off of someone else's path that's already walked it.
Do you know Blake or no?
No, I know of Blake. I've been in, like I said, in New Braunfels for a long time. I know all about the truck scene. Everything that is them MB boys.
I always call him and say, hey, did you bring enough hairspray or whatever? But he's been a good he's been a hustler his whole life. I've always enjoyed watching his journey. And, next level is, again, another quantum leap from where he came from. And I tell people they don't have a brain until they're about 27 or 28. And I think you got a brain on you. So it is going to be fun to watch.
Well, I appreciate that. And I hope to have your support along the way, obviously.
You will. I don't think I don't do a bunch of dry cleaning because the only place that I went to was up in Lubbock. But I need to start doing stuff here. And most of my clothes are in Lubbock. I live out of a damn suitcase. So I stay in different cities all the time. And so
I should set a rack up right here.
I know.
And then we can just deliver it right to the rack. No
I know. No, I need to start getting stuff done. But I didn't have anywhere in New Braunfels to do it. And now I do. So you will see.
We do alterations too. So if there's anything that you need sewn up, anything. Tapered.
Y'all have in-house, y'all call them seamstresses. Y'all have in-house one?
Yes, they're actually. So another thing I didn't think would be another thing they don't teach you in the books. My seamstresses is a married couple, and they're from Poland. They don't speak any English. So we have a whole list of cards. We use Google Translate a lot. We have a whole list of words, and the one word that she knows in English is super.
Yeah.
And then the one word I know in Polish is tak, which is perfect. And we just work it out.
That's great.
It's awesome because when they come in the morning, I tell them good morning, and I know they have no idea what I'm saying. And then they're so excited that I said something to them. They talk back to me in Polish, and I have no idea what they're saying, but we're living the same experience. It's something that I definitely didn't wrap my head around.
That's great. Well, let everybody know where they can find you, the name of your business again, how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. Tip Top NB is our Instagram. You can follow us there. Like I said, I'm going to start doing a lot more lives and putting out more information on what it's like to be a young entrepreneur. So if you want to follow the journey, jump on the train. You can reach out to us at tiptoplaundryservices.com. The website is being worked on. We're going to have that live soon. And I just really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about my story. I was telling my mom, it's surreal because my whole life I dreaded the life I was living. Yeah. And then now here I am on TV or like on YouTube bragging about my life and how great it was. And
just don't be going around in a Ferrari filming it.
Oh, definitely not. That's what the Lamborghini's for.
Well, it's been fun. This is Business Under Fire. We appreciate all you guys listening. Ian, I appreciate you coming. This was the first reach out to me because of the podcast, and it has been my pleasure to do it. And I look forward to watching you grow. So that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Isn't that fun?
Dude, that was cool.